Good evening and thank you for joining us here at GBS News 9. My name is Beatrice Njeri. Our sign language interpreter is Paul Mathenge. Do keep your comments coming in through our SMS line 21144 and GBS TV Africa on all our social media handles. We have a lot lined up for you tonight, but first, here are the highlights.
Abstentions nil, so the ayes have it.
It is a yes. Members of Parliament passed the Finance Bill 2024 amid spirited protest by Kenyans across the country.
Education has become expensive. Sisi tulikuwa tunasoma na 28,000 per year. Right now, watu wanasoma na 28,000 per month.
Young people rising. Recent protests have left a symbolic impression in the absence of the opposition-led protest.
University has stood as a beacon of hope, as an oasis of opportunity, and an island of transformative possibilities.
10 years after Garissa terror attack, and Garissa University stands strong to hold her 5th graduation, presided over by President William Ruto. Euromatch days take shape as Portugal register win with England going against Denmark tonight. To begin our bulletin, Kenyans once again have today taken to the streets to riot against the finance bill. The bill was rejected by Kenyans just from the day it was tabled in the National Assembly by urging that the bill is punitive and traumatic due to its high taxation content. Davis Karani gives us what conspired in the National Assembly.
The Kenyans have come out in thousands, if not in hundreds, to reject the 2024 finance bill, claiming that it is punitive and unfavorable to them despite them battling with the high taxation cost, making life unbearable for them. But the anti-riot police, who are set and fully prepared to stop anyone causing violence in the city, could not hesitate to put their weapons into action just to bring things to order, also exercising their right and slogan of maintaining law and order. This is what triggered the peaceful picketers who had the intention of marching to the National Assembly just to air out their voices to their representatives with a warning, reject the finance bill. But even after all the pressure from the members of the public, the National Assembly has officially passed the finance bill with a majority vote.
The results of the division on second reading of the Finance Bill 2024 is as follows. Ayes 204, nays 115, abstentions nil, so the ayes have it.
The bill will then be submitted to the Senate for further discussions, and if the Senate agrees with the National Assembly's decision, it will be submitted to the President for ascension. But if the Senate rejects the bill, it will be returned to the National Assembly for further amendments before submission. The Central Business District of Nairobi was a no-go zone to anyone since Kenyans came out in large numbers to reject the finance bill. Davis Karani, GBS News, Nairobi.
President William Ruto has urged members of Parliament to swiftly pass the Finance Bill 2024 despite significant public outcry and demonstrations against it. Speaking during Garissa University's 5th graduation ceremony, President Ruto emphasized the pivotal role of the bill in providing essential services, particularly in education. He emphasized with junior secondary school teachers eagerly awaiting employment, highlighting that their prospects hinge on the enactment of the Finance Bill as a crucial condition. Here are the details. Yes. Teachers are the cornerstone of education, entrusted with the crucial task of imparting knowledge, skills, and critical thinking abilities to students. They play a pivotal role in shaping the future leaders, entrepreneurs, caregivers, and innovators. However, junior secondary school intern teachers in the country have faced significant challenges. Many have endured over a year of service without receiving permanent employment, a situation that has recently driven them to organize demonstrations nationwide.
An intern is an unqualified person, unlicensed person, but these teachers are qualified, graduate, and licensed.
In the aftermath of the recent strike, junior secondary school intern teachers who are still awaiting employment now find their future dependent on the passage of the finance bill. It has been affirmed that the essential funds have already been allocated in the budget for their recruitment. President William Ruto, addressing the attendees at Garissa University's 5th graduation ceremony, called upon members of parliament to expedite the passing of the finance bill despite widespread public opposition and demonstrations.
Experiences and growing awareness over a dynamic and complex context mean that disaster management is now a significant component of our strategy to achieve sustainable development.
In the latest proposal for the financial year 2024-2025, Treasury Cabinet Secretary Njuguna Ndung'u announced an allocation of 13.4 billion intended to convert 46,000 junior secondary school intern teachers to permanent and pensionable positions.
I have proposed an allocation of Kenya shillings 13.4 billion for the conversion of 46,000 junior secondary school interns to permanent and pensionable terms.
However, just days later, the permanent employment prospects of these teachers are uncertain. This follows a substantial cut of 18.9 billion Kenya shillings earmarked for the Teacher Service Commission, a move attributed to efforts to address Kenya's 200 billion Kenya shillings budget deficit after members of parliament opted to eliminate certain tax proposals from the Finance Bill 2024. While teachers continue to play a crucial role in shaping the future of the society, the difficulties experienced by junior secondary school intern teachers highlight persistent issues within the education system. The uncertainty they confront regarding their employment status amidst changes in budget allocation and governmental policies underscore the importance of ongoing advocacy and support. Kenya's ongoing anti-finance bill 2024 protests have been marked by a significant shift in the dynamics of political activism, with a new generation of young Kenyans, popularly known as Gen Z, taking center stage. This movement, fueled by frustration over the proposed tax hikes and desire for change, has united Kenyans beyond ethnicity and political affiliations. The protests began on social media platforms, particularly TikTok, where the users expressed their discontent with the Finance Bill 2024. The hashtag Reject Finance Bill 2024 quickly gained traction, mobilizing young people across the country to take action. Here is a story by a political reporter, Hilary Kabila.
The streets of Nairobi and other major cities in Kenya have in the last few days been the scene of significant political unrest, driven largely by an unexpected force, the Gen Z. This demographic, typically defined as those born in the late 1990s to the early 2010s, has emerged as a powerful voice in the protest against the proposed Finance Bill 2024. The bill, which includes several contentious measures, has mobilized a wide cross-section of the society, but it is the involvement of Gen Z that has added a unique and dynamic element to the movement.
You trying to add tax on stuff like sanitary towels, it doesn't make sense. It's inhumane. Pads should be free. Condoms are free. Sex is optional, menstruation is not. So this thing should be scrapped off. It's not, do not amend it. Reject the whole thing.
The Finance Bill 2024 proposes several tax hikes and economic policies aimed at addressing the national budget deficit and public debt. Key provisions include increased VAT on essential goods, higher income taxes, and new levies on digital services. Critics argue that these measures disproportionately impact the middle and lower income segments of the population, exacerbating economic hardships in a country already grappling with high unemployment rates and the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Education has become expensive. Sisi tulikuwa tunasoma na 28,000 per year. Right now, watu wanasoma na 28,000 per month. What is that? Ruto umetoa support ya government ya education. Our parents are now starting to retire as Gen Z.
If they pass it, we will seek other avenues of making that bill go away. We can go for the judiciary, tuko hapa mbele. We will seek other alternatives of making this financial bill, which is very cruel to us, go away. We have alternatives. Hata hao wenye wanapitisha hapo tunaona. Tuko na ile powers of the citizens, tutawarecall, tusipowarecall 2027 aoni.
For many young Kenyans, the bill represents not just an economic burden, but also a threat to their future prospects. The unemployment rate among Kenyan youths is alarmingly high, and many Gen Z individuals feel that the government's policies have consistently failed to address their needs and aspirations. The Finance Bill 2024 has become a focal point for broader grievances about economic inequality and lack of opportunity.
It is time you understand that we are of age. Na sisi ndio tuna familia. Mimi nimetupa mabibi wawili kwa sababu ya kukosa diapers. Yes. Bibi anakuambia nataka diaper 5 kila siku. Sitaosha, nimemnunulia napi, hataki kuvua mavi.
Yes.
This is Generation Z.
Yes.
Badala ya kupeleka diapers juu, tafadhali punguza, vijana waweze kukua na familia.
The youth, you must come out strong. We are not going to relent. This is just the beginning of the war. We are not paid by anybody. This is not a political-led protest. The people of Kenya have come out and they are telling you that if you think that it is only the strong who can come out and cry, then wait and see the strength of the weak in the society.
We no want finance bill. Ruto, Zakayo, ulitudanganya, tumechoka. Na sisi usisahau ni sisi tuko next generation. Hizo kura hautapata hata kidogo.
The involvement of Gen Z has significantly shaped the anti-finance bill protests. Their innovative approaches to protest include flash mobs, virtual rallies, and creative placards and banners that highlight their frustrations and demands in poignant and often humorous ways. Hilary Kabila, GBS News.
President William Ruto has urged members of parliament to swiftly pass the bill 2024 despite significant public outcry and demonstrations against it. Speaking during Garissa University 5th graduation ceremony, President Ruto emphasized the pivotal role of this bill in providing essential education. He emphasized the junior secondary school teachers eagerly awaiting employment, highlighting that their prospects hinge on the enactment of the finance bill as a crucial condition. President Ruto graced the 5th graduation of Garissa University, where he described the history of the varsity as an inspiring account of progress amid difficulty. Ruto said the university has triumphed against daunting challenges and succeeded in the face of risk and threats. In 2015, terrorists staged an attack on the institution, killing 148 people, most of them students. However, a lot has changed at the institution years after the attack. Among them is enhanced security, which involves thorough screening at the entrance. A police camp has also been set up inside the college. Ruto said that despite the immense setbacks, the university has remained committed to its vision of providing quality higher education, training, research, development, and innovation in the region. Ruto was touring Garissa for the first time since he became president. He said the principled determination demonstrated by the institution embodies the indomitable Kenyan spirit of focusing on aspirations with fortitude, overcoming challenges with grace, and responding to misfortune with excellence. Ruto was accompanied by, among other, Defense Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale and Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Machogu, Garissa Governor Nathif Jema, members of Parliament Dekor Mohammed of Garissa Township, and Abdi Kadil Hussein Lagbrenda.
We are the educators, entrepreneurs, and leaders for tomorrow's community. We know the challenges outside this world are vast, just like the desert before us. But remember, the spirit of Garissa University, the spirit of innovation and perseverance is in each one of us. Let us go out, not as graduates, but as living embodiment of this oasis. Let us be the change makers problem solvers, and innovators that will finally impact the world.
Following the opening of the higher education funding portal on 18th of this month, 2024, I wish to encourage all eligible students who have been placed to various universities and our TVET institutions for the 2024-2025 academic year to take advantage of the opportunity to apply for loans and scholarships under the student-centered funding model.
As the Minister for Defense, Your Excellency, I want to assure you on behalf of the men and women in the security sector, both internal and external KDF, that we will not give an opportunity to the forces of terror and evil to come near our citizens and more so near our universities and colleges where young people promising young people are here, Your Excellency.
The history of this university is an inspiring account of progress amid difficulty, triumph against daunting challenges, and success in the face of risks and threats. From its inception in 2011 as a constituent college of Moi University, and even after receiving its charter in 2017, the university has stood as a beacon of hope, as an oasis of opportunity, and an island of transformative possibilities, and a premier educational institution in Kenya's arid and semi-arid lands. It is, in its early years, the university endured and overcame significant adversities, the most tragic being the murderous attack in 2015 by despicable and cowardly terrorists who victimized innocent young people, many of whom were women. Despite these immense setbacks, the university remained committed to its vision of providing quality higher education, training, research, and development, including innovation, to our northern rangelands.
Many thanks for joining this live broadcast. We have a lot lined up for you in our news segment tonight. But first, let us take a quick break. We'll be right back with even more.
So through the four gospel books, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, John, we can know the heart of Jesus in depth.
그리고 우리가 느끼는 그 예수님을 성경을 통해 느낄 수 있어서 너무 감사합니다.
And the Jesus that we can feel him through the scriptures, and I'm very thankful about that. Jesus Christ came to this earth for our sins.
지셨고,
he carried our sins.
십자가에 못 박혀 죽어 죄의 형벌을 당하셨고,
and he was crucified and he received the punishment for sins.
무덤에 들어가셨다가,
and he was put into the tomb.
사흘 만에 부활하셨습니다.
and resurrected in 3 days.
이것이 우리가 말하는 복음입니다.
This is the gospel that we speak.
예수님께 우리 죄를 위해 죽으신 이야기.
About how Jesus died for our sins. The purpose of Jesus being crucified.
우리 죄를 담당하기 위하여 십자가에 못 박혀 죽으셨습니다.
He was crucified to pay for our sins.
예수 십자가에 못 박혀 죽으심으로 우리 죄가 분명히 씻어졌는데.
And through Jesus being crucified, clearly our sins have been washed clean.
참 안타깝게도 많은 사람은 여전히 죄인이라고 말합니다.
However, unfortunately, many people still say that they are sinners.
Hello,
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back. You're still watching GBS News 9. Aiming to empower business leaders and leaders from other professions through the adoption of soft power, the Future of Power series is hosting its 73rd edition in Nairobi, making the first time this global forum to be held in Africa. Addressing the press earlier today in Nairobi, Nizar Juma, an industrialist and philanthropist, noted that there is need for transformative leaders to have the ability to influence and attract through persuasion and appeal rather than coercion or force. The forum comes on the backdrop of businesses leaders in Kenya and Africa at large encountering a myriad of challenges as they navigate factors such as talent management, regulatory compliance, consumer behavior changes, and economic uncertainty.
about soft power that we want to promote amongst leaders. And this doesn't mean only business people. It means business people, politicians, surgeons, medical profession, actors, all profession. So basically, in your profession, you are the leader. And we want to try and promote better leadership. And that is the purpose of the Future Power, is to introduce leaders to soft power. Because as you know, the world is now becoming more and more harder. And they are professing hard power, which means to be successful, you either have lots of money or you have lots of guns. Soft power is that you achieve the same result, only better, by introducing soft power into your profession, into your business.
Just days after being appointed the newly Family Bank Board of Directors and Management Chairman, architect Francis Gitau Mungai has passed on while receiving treatment in the United States, the bank announced. Gitau Mungai served the board of Family Bank Limited since 2016 and had been serving as the vice chairman for the last 2 years before his recent appointment as chairman. He chaired the board credit committee and the board human resource committee. He was a member of the Nominations and Governance Committee and a director of Pesapap Digital, a subsidiary of Family Bank Limited. Prior to joining the board, Mungai had supported the board both as a customer and as an architect since 1996. According to the bank's board, the late made invaluable contributions to the growth of the bank, and he will be missed immensely by all those who had the pleasure of knowing him. The Kiambu High Court has ordered mental assessments for 15 suspects accused of gruesome murders of 2 Indian nationals and their Kenyan taxi driver. These suspects, who come from various security agencies, including the now disbanded Special Service Unit of the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, will remain in custody at the Kiambu police station while awaiting further legal proceedings. This case has drawn considerable attention due to its connection to high-ranking officials and its implications for the integrity of Kenya's security forces. Susan Nganga with the full report.
The Kiambu High Court has directed 15 suspects accused of murdering 2 Indian nationals and their Kenyan taxi driver to undergo mental assessment before taking a plea. The suspects, who were drawn from various security agencies, including the now disbanded Special Services Unit of the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, will be detained at Kiambu Police Station in the meantime. The matter is set for mentioning on June 25, 2024, before the High Court for plea taking. According to the charge sheet approved by the Office of the Directorate of Public Prosecutions, the 15 suspects are facing 3 counts of murder each. It is alleged that on the night of July 22nd to 23rd, 2022, near Ole Sereni Hotel along Mombasa Road, within Nairobi County, they murdered Indian Zulfikar Ahmed Khan and Muhammad Zaid Sami, as well as Kenyan Nicodemus Mwania Mwangi. The Indian nationals, Sami and Khan, arrived in Kenya in April 2022 to join the then Deputy President William Ruto's ICT campaign team ahead of the August general election. A witness previously told the court that government vehicles were used to trail, capture, and dispose of the bodies of the 3 deceased persons at the Aberdares National Park in Nyeri County. The witness stated that 20 mobile phones belonging to the accused persons were confiscated and presented to the DCI for forensic analysis before being handed over to the Communications Authority. These funds were later taken to India for additional analysis. One of the funds showed correspondence between Corporal John Mwangi Kamau and Corporal Joseph Mbaya on October 16, in which Mbaya inquired from Kamau about revisiting the scene to clear it. Kamau responded Tanki alienda, referring to one of the other accused persons. Susan Nganga, GBS News.
Scores of youth in Embu Town took to the streets on Thursday in a protest march calling for the rejection of the Finance Bill 2024. The protesters argued that the bill contained corrective tax measures that would make life more difficult for Kenyans, and they demanded that members of parliament from the county vote against the bill if they have the welfare of locals at heart. In other updates, the EACC says it has 10 other recovery suits before the Nyahururu Environment and Land Court seeking to recover government land and houses that have been illegally grabbed, including a 200 million Kenya shillings piece of land hosting the agricultural mechanization services. Here are the details.
The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, has recovered and reverted to the government a 2.5-acre piece of land valued at Kenya shillings 110 million that has been illegally allocated to 12 private individuals.
Today, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, has visited Nyahururu town. In particular, we are on this site that constitutes property that the Commission has recovered from grabbers. The EACC, in exercise of its mandate in the fight against corruption, has recovered public property in Nyahururu town, and that is property that is measuring about 2.5 acres, cumulatively valued at around 110 million Kenya shillings.
The land has been reserved for the Nyahururu bus park, but was irregularly and unlawful, alienated to favor private developers who had commenced construction of a shopping mall on the site. Following an investigation launched in 2022 after a complaint from Metuba traders in Nyahururu, the EAC took the matter to the court. Through an alternative dispute resolution process, the defendants agreed to voluntarily surrender the title documents, and the court issued an accord judgment revoking the titles and ordering the land to be transferred back to the Laikipia County government, which is the rightful owner.
Kwa majina naitwa Peter Maina Mwangi. Mimi ni mfanyabiashara katika shamba hili tuko, na pia mimi ndio chairman wa watu wa Mituba Nyahururu, na tuko hapa kwa siku ya leo tukiwa na watu wa Ethics and Anti-Corruption, tukiwarudishia shukrani kubwa sana kwa kuturudishia hili shamba ambalo lilikuwa limenyakuliwa na land grabbers. Na venye tulianza kesi, tulishukua hii kesi na tukawapelekea, na venye tuliwapelekea tumeona hili shamba wamelirudisha na tumewarudishia shukrani sana.
Meanwhile, in Kakamega, a 57-year-old fine artist, Leo Odoye Obambo, has volunteered to mentor youth in fine art to help them earn a living. Obambo, who has been working for 30 years, deals with various forms of fine art, earning him between shillings 75,000 and shillings 80,000 monthly.
Mimi ni artist. Nafanya fine arts, murals, portraits na kadhalika. Hii jani ya kuwa artist ni ngumu, manake nilianza mbali sana 1989. Nilifanya grade 3 1989 huko Uriri Village Polytechnic wakati huo. Kwa sasa naona artists wachache. Kenya nzima hatuwezi kupata watu wa 100. Kwa hivyo inamaanisha Kenya mpaka vijana wajitokeze kwa hii field ya art, wafanye hii kazi, wasione ni kazi ya wazee ama ni kazi ya kuchezea, ni kazi yenye imeajiri watu wengi.
Obambo acquired his skills in fine art from village polytechnics in 1989 and started practicing the skill, which has enabled him to support his 9 children. He is willing to link the youth to his clients and other customers across the country to kickstart their journey in fine art. He now encourages the youth to explore fine art as a means of earning a living, noting that it can be a rewarding with opportunity to sell products online. Pedis Kego, GBS News.
Do keep your comments coming in through our SMS line 21144 and GBS TV Africa on all our social media handles. That report brings us to our international news, but first let us take a quick commercial break.
Before I introduce our amazing guest for today, we have a very short clip for you guys. Hapa tutakuonesha pencil art, how to draw a portrait ya dem. Check this out.
Manze, me, I go by the name of Mike MG. I'm an artist, stroke rapper, stroke shrapper, stroke trapper. Yeah.
So hata before we start, wazazi wako walisemaje about your music? Did they support you?
I'm still young, need some guns, need some insight. Kuserereka tutadunda will be hell of a night. Autopilot zitashika will be on my flight. The sativa devil's ladies made me high like a kite.
So do you think msanii pia anafaa ku cloud chase ndio talent yake ionekane, ama inafaa kuwa only talent?
Go for Fenagito, I'd go for Octopizzo.
Octopizzo.
And I'd go for P-Unit.
Oh.
P-Unit as a whole. Wakiwa group.
CY Kiki.
Yes,
fresh. Hebu niambie ulikuwa unafikiria nini ukitengeneza hiyo video?
Kienda Music Festival nilikuwa nafanya mafoka. Mafoka ilikuwa performance ya kurap na Kiswahili.
What? Okay.
Yeah. Ni kama shairi lakini ni rap. Lazima ikuwe na articulate message. Yeah, hadi tukafika finali huko Kasa.
Welcome everyone. It's your girl Alice and this is GBS TV Art Club, the best art club in Eastern Africa. Hi guys, welcome to the Youth Hub, the show that gets your groove on.
Mahali nikakula chapati ya brown na haina sukari. Alafu nikatoka hapo nasikia nimechoka hadi mgongo, siwezi panda stairs. Kumbe nilikuwa nimeanza kuzeeka.
Kumbe kuanza kula
They can do follow up. Lakini unapata hii alifanya in secret, imeshatokea. So even the boy anaogopa kujitokeza. Hey,
but what about today? What about the modern fathers? Modern fathers ni yule mwenye anaweza amua I'm going to babysit, nilikuwa wamesema.
Mimi nilimera sijui kama nilifungwa diaper to be honest. Mimi nilikuwa mtu wa napi.
Ulikuwa napi enzi za
napi unafungwa
na kafil.
Trust me, watu wengi.
Pesa iko kwa wingi, unga ni pesa. Ukiona tu unga ya ngano, unajua ushakuwa milionea.
Ni kweli, ukikanda unga unakuwa na do. Utakosaje kwa na do?
Baby stars are expensive.
Diapers kwanza. Wow.
It's a bit really expensive, my friends. If you're not ready for motherhood things, that's not nice.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back to the broadcast, and now to matters international news. The United Nations has recently taken action to deliver crucial aid to Haiti in response to the ongoing violence, as well as prepare the country for the upcoming hurricane season. The United Nations announced the delivery of aid to the Caribbean nation in assistance to hundreds of displaced families amid the ongoing violence and the looming threat of a hurricane season. The aid delivery comes at a critical time as Haiti faces multiple crises. Here is more on the same.
The United Nations has stepped in to deliver aid to Haiti as the country faces ongoing violence and prepares for the upcoming hurricane season. The UN announced on Tuesday that 2 cargo flights carrying 55 tons of medicine, shelter, and hygiene materials have landed in the capital, Port-au-Prince.
Cargo flights organized through the World Food Program landed in the capital, Port-au-Prince, carrying 55 tons of medicine, shelter, and hygiene materials. These supplies will be used to assist displaced people and to prepare for the hurricane season. WFP's school meals program has now distributed some 30 million meals across the country since the start of the current school year. Of these, nearly 17 million meals have been provided through its program that supports local farmers. As we previously said, the education sector has been severely impacted by the recent violence, with more than 200,000 children and 4,000 teachers affected in the West and Artibonite.
The aid is aimed at assisting displaced families and helping them prepare for the hurricane season. Haiti is bracing for a severe hurricane season that runs from June to November and has further been destabilized by a gas fuel crisis. The UN estimates that 360,000 people in Haiti are currently displaced due to the ongoing violence. Farhan Haq also condemned attacks on health personnel and facilities in Haiti, emphasizing the need to protect those on the front lines of healthcare during times of conflict. The UN's aid delivery to Haiti comes at a critical time as the country continues to deal with multiple crises.
Russian President Vladimir Putin and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un signed a comprehensive strategic partnership agreement on Wednesday, a pact including a mutual defense clause, marking a significant shift in the strategic balance in the Northeast Asia. The agreement includes a joint defense pledge where both countries agree to provide military and other assistance with all available means to either is attacked. Here is a full report.
The Ukrainian conflict has been ongoing for years with no clear end in sight. The United States has been a key player in the conflict, providing military aid and support to Ukraine. However, U.S. Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield has emphasized the need for Russia to be at the table for meaningful peace talks. She believes that Moscow's participation is crucial for any lasting solution to the conflict.
But for everything this summit was, it's important to note what it was not. Namely, the summit was not a formal negotiation. After all, a negotiated end to the war will require both Russia and Ukraine at the table in good faith.
In a joint press conference with French President Emmanuel Macron, President Joe Biden reiterated the United States' commitment to supporting Ukraine. He warned that Russia will not stop at Ukraine and that all of Europe will be threatened if it continues its aggression. The US and European leaders have reiterated their commitment to supporting Ukraine in its conflict with Russia.
The United States ambassador to the UN, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, stated that Russia's participation was essential for meaningful peace talks to resolve the Ukrainian conflict. She underlined that while the U.S. would continue to support Ukraine's defense against Russian aggression, Moscow's involvement was as well crucial for any lasting solution. Here are the details.
While joy over the rescue of Noah Agamani, Shlomo Ziv, Almog Medjen and Andrei Kozlov was evident at the protests, so too anger over the conduct of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his government.
We don't trust our government. We don't believe like they're doing the right thing. They're doing it like just for their own sake to stay in like the seat.
In Tel Aviv, police said that 33 protesters were arrested during demonstrations, and all roads near the protest were open to traffic around midnight.
They've been too long in this position. They I don't know, like.
Need to change.
And it's yeah. And you can see like the people who's working, the people who's going to the army, the people who's doing a lot of stuff are like most of them are protesting. Most of them are want the change for the government.
The protesters were apprehended by the police on horseback before a water cannon was brought in to complete the dispersal.
Most of the Israelis don't like people who die in Gaza. Most of the people here just want a peace, just want to live like freely and without like scare in the north to just all the bomb. We don't want it.
The Times of Israel witnessed several arrests in which police tackled demonstrators to the ground.
We should bring the hostages home. I think we have a moral responsibility towards them and to stop the humanitarian crisis in Gaza.
At the same time, police on horseback were seen pushing protesters off of Democracy Square and onto the sidewalk on Kaplan Street.
Of course, on the same, protesters at rallies in Tel Aviv and across the country called for new elections and the return of the hostages held in captivity in Gaza, hours after the military announced 4 hostages were rescued alive from central Gaza's Nuseirat camp. Some protesters called for an immediate ceasefire in the fighting between Israel and Hamas in Gaza Strip, urging their government to seek other paths towards peace in the region. Moving on, the Israel Defense Forces stated it had eliminated a key Hezbollah operative, Mohammed Mustafa Ayub, and a drone strike in South Lebanon. Ayub was a senior commander in Hezbollah's elite Rwandan force responsible for planning and executing numerous terror attacks against Israeli civilians and communities over the past few months. Here is a full report.
Mohammed Ayub, described by the IDF as a high-ranking commander within Hezbollah's elite Rwandan force, was reportedly responsible for arranging numerous attacks involving anti-tank missiles against Israeli civilians, communities and security personnel. The strike specifically targeted Ayub while he was traveling in a vehicle in the Konain area of southern Lebanon.
To the north now, yesterday the IDF eliminated the terrorist Mohammed Mustafa Ayub. He was a key operative in the rocket and missile department of the NASA unit of the Hezbollah terrorist army in southern Lebanon. From southern Lebanon, Ayub was key in terror attacks against Israeli communities. We say again, whether through diplomacy or by military means, we are impeding Hezbollah's military buildup. Their stockpiling of weapons for terror against Israelis is being dealt with into Gaza.
In response to Ayub's elimination, Hezbollah has retaliated against Israeli positions along the border, including a rocket strike that wounded an IDF soldier. The IDF has responded with airstrikes on Hezbollah sites in Hiam and Rab al-Thalathain, as well as artillery shelling near Houla. The escalation in violence has led to concerns of a wider conflict, with both sides trading blows and neither showing signs of backing down. The situation remains volatile, with the potential for further escalation and violence along the border. The IDF's operation to eliminate Mohammed Ayub is part of broader efforts aimed at reducing Hezbollah's operational capabilities and deterring future attacks. As the situation continues to evolve, international observers and regional stakeholders remain vigilant within fears of wider conflict and instability in the Middle East.
Struck Kashmir County in northeastern Iran's Khorasan Razavi province on Tuesday, resulting in at least 4 deaths and over 120 injuries. The magnitude 5.2 quake hit a depth of 6 kilometers underground and was centered 5 kilometers from Morgan, Razavi, Khorasan province, according to the United States Geological Survey. Iran is still recovering from the devastating 203 BM earthquake, which had a magnitude of 6.6, killing tens of thousands. Here are the details.
State television aired footage of the aftermath of the quake, showing first responders working in a street where all buildings were reduced to rubble. The United States Geological Survey said the earthquake hit a depth of 10 kilometers 6 miles. The U.S. Geological Survey reported the quake epicenter to be 5 kilometers from Morgan, Karavi Khorasan province, at a depth of 6 kilometers. The United Nations estimate that Iran experiences around 10,000 earthquakes annually. The country is still recovering from the 2000 BAM earthquake, which had a magnitude of 6.6 and killed tens of thousands. In a separate incident last year, a 5.9 magnitude earthquake in the city of Kau, western Abadan province, killed at least 3 people and injured more than 800. At the same time, the Meha News Agency reported that 70 villages were damaged.
Do keep your comments coming in through our SMS line 21144 and GBS TV Africa on all our social media handles. And now for sports lovers, it is time for your most anticipated part of the news, the sports news. Let's get sporty. Sofapaka played to a 1-1 draw with Nairobi City Stars on Wednesday, June 19th at Dandora Stadium. Msaga Dires gave the host a lead in the 30th minute, but just 4 minutes later, Abala Gilbert brought City Stars back on level terms. At Homa Bay Stadium, Shabana continued their recent good form with another victory, this time against Bidco United. Ocheng Alvin ensured his team carried a lead into halftime with his goal in the 47th minute. The second half saw Michira Brian extend the lead in the 60th minute and Kavuchi Layson sealed the win in the 80th minute. Elsewhere, FC Talanta secured a vital 3 points against champions Gor Mahia with a 4-2 victory in Machakos. Talanta's Emoni Alfred was crucial to his team's victory, scoring a hat-trick, while Boke Lucas also added to Talanta's tally with a goal. Gor Mahia's goals came from Austin Othiambo and Ocheng Benson. Additionally, Mohorani Youth boosted their chances of survival in the league with a 6-0 win against Zoia Sugar at Mumias Complex. The FKF Premier League season ends this weekend on Sunday, while Gor Mahia awaits their coronation as the champions. The relegation race remains fiercely contested.
Anapata goli lake la kwanza msimu huu. Auko alikuwa anaenda wapi? Lakini Sebastian Sunday Kekai ndio alifanya makosa. Sebastian Sunday Kekai alipoteza moja kwa moja. Gilbert Abala akamwachia kitu kizito. Alikuwa anafanya nini Sebastian Sunday? Quick thinking, quick fit. Alijaribu kumfuata lakini wapi? Auko atalaumiwa, mbona unafungwa kwenye mlingoti wako au near post? Kienda pembeni siwaoni, kisha anapiga vitu ambavyo unaviona Ulaya tu. Ndivyo anavyofanya hapa. Gilbert Abala anarudisha, anajaribu kuipiga huku, inakatwa na Branze. Kwake Humphrey. Tafuto Jacob Onyango!
Euro 2024 started on Friday, 14th June at the Allianz Arena as host Germany thrashed Scotland 5-1 in their Group A opening match. Germany leads Group A table. Switzerland beat Hungary 3-1 in their first Euro 2024 match. Here are the details.
In other Euro 2024 group matches, Germany beat Hungary 2-0 to lead Group A with 6 points. Scotland drew 1-1 with Switzerland. Switzerland are second in Group A with 4 points. Scotland is third with 1 point while Hungary is last with no points. In Group B matches, Spain thrashed Croatia 3-0 to go top of Group B, while Italy beat Albania 2-1 to go second in Group B with the same points as Spain. And in another Group B match, Albania drew 2-2 with Croatia to go third, while Croatia is last in Group B but with the same points with Albania. In Group C matches, England beat Serbia 1-0 to go top of the group, and in another Group C match, Denmark drew 1-1 with Slovenia. Serbia is last in Group C, while Denmark and Slovenia are second and third with the same points. In Group D matches, Netherlands beat Poland 2-1 to go top of the group, but with the same points as France after France beat Austria 1-0. Poland and Austria are third and fourth in the group with no points. In Group E matches, Romania thrashed Ukraine 3-0 to go top of the group, and in another Group E match, Slovakia beat Belgium 1-0 to go second in the group, also with the same points with Romania. Belgium and Ukraine are third and fourth respectively in the group. In Group F matches, Turkey beat Georgia 3-1 to go top of the group, while Portugal beat Czech Republic 2-1 to go second in Group F but with the same points as Turkey. Czech and Georgia are third and fourth in the group with no points. Reporting for GBS TV, I am John Kinyanjui.
That sports news brings us to the end of our news segment tonight. Here at GBS News at 9, we make your news our business. My name is Beatrice Njeri. Our sign language interpreter is Paul Mathenge. Good night.